What's going on YouTube? My name is Banker. Thank you for tuning in. And today we have another matchup. It is Tapion taking on the Boujack Brigade. Like always, there's buttons, links down below. Feel free to click them there for a reason. But let's get into it. Boujack. New Boujack to go over because I think there's now been 3 different Bojacks: yellow, blue, now green. If you don't know, it's kind of like the Gohan Goten deck where it plays cards and draws a lot, which is pretty nice. So you can put a lot of good stuff in there and put the engine in there itself that allows you to get all the draws you need and hope you draw into the other better stuff. And then we have Tapion. Kind of same. You play 1-drops after comboing them to draw more cards. So this would be a very drawly game. But we haven't seen Boujack, so let's kind of talk about it real quick. On the Unawakened side, it's your standard leader. When you attack, you draw 1 card, which is always great. This is where this deck gets different. Activate main once a turn. Place 1 green Boujack Brigade card from your hand face up on in your Z deck. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 green Boujack Brigade card to your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. This allows you to kind of add the cards you need to add to your hand and just get what you need, which is kind of nice. Awaken, obviously, is when you get 4 less life, or if you have 2 or more face up Boujack Brigade cards in your Z deck, draw 1, switch up to 1 of your energies active mode, and you go down to 6, which is pretty nice. On the Awakened side, you now have, when 1 of your Green Jack Boujack Brigade cards is played, draw 1 card, which is kind of nice. Now you don't worry about swinging the leader. You just got to play a card and you get what you can also do during your opponent's turn as well. Secondary auto is this is where those cards in your Z deck come in handy. Place 3 face-up Boujack Brigade cards from your Z deck to your drop. When this card attacks, switch this card to active mode, and it gets plus 10,000 power for the battle. So it makes the first attack 25, and then the secondary attack is just 15. But you still get that out without having to worry about comboing cards off your hand. Activate battle once per turn. If it's your opponent's turn and you KO 1 of your green Boujack Brigade cards, this card gains 10,000 power for the battle, which is kind of nice as well. And we see here I do have the Z extra card on the board now. Time for the slaughter to begin. Auto, if your leader's Boujack Brigade card, when your green Boujack Brigade card is KO'd by 1 of your skills, you may place that card from your drop on top of your Z deck, which is kind of nice. It allows you to kind of get extra cards there while having once you already done the Awakened part. Secondary part of this deck is Activate Main. If your leader's green Boujack Brigade card, place up to 1 Boujack Brigade card, energy cost 1 from your hand in rest mode. So you don't have to pay the energy cost for it, and a lot of the 1-drops will just draw you cards as well. We do have, on the Tapion side, we have the Huragan 3-drop hitting the board, which is kind of nice. If correct, it has Deflect, but it can gain crit by removing a blue hero card from your battle area to the drop. An additional 5k, making it a 20k crit, which is not something I would want to mess with in this particular matchup. Now, I forgot about this. The player Steve, he had ordered these cards, and these are Trunks free attack. And they hadn't arrived yet. They were supposed to arrive, and they hadn't got to them yet by the time our event had occurred. So he's like, "Are you cool if I just proxy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. It's not a problem, man." He did have 1 outside the deck, just as an example, to I think the right of his playmat, just in case we needed reference points and just kind of look at it. But for the ones in his deck, he just proxy those. So here we're doing the leader's effect before I go into the Awaken of that one. And Tapion, it's already been awakened. We see here I'm adding 1 of the 1-drops to my hand right now, which there's actually a variety of ways to kind of play the 1-drops. Like I said, we do have the Z extra card, which is kind of nice. But then there's another one. Yeah, it's Gokua, Bringer of Chaos, which is the one I'm actually playing that right now. It's actually made for 1 green energy. If you have 2 or more face-up Boujack Brigade cards in your Z deck, draw 1 card, play this card for your hand, which kind of replaces itself, which is kind of nice. But then when this card's played, you can play up to 1 green Boujack Brigade card with energy cost of 1 from your hand into rest mode. And it looks like the one I played was Zangaya. It's not Gaia, sorry. Zanga, lone female space pirate. And when she's played, she just selects the top 5 cards for your deck for Boujack Brigade cards. So in that 1 energy, we're drawing a card for the play, we're drawing the card for playing the 1-drop, and then we're drawing a card for the leader, which is kind of nice for 1 energy. Here we're using the ZX card, get the other effect off. I did miss the timing earlier to do it, but it is a once per turn effect. Normally you wouldn't be able to get that off any other way, but Steve did let me get that draw off, which is kind of nice. And then we have the other Goku, if I recall correctly. He doesn't play a card when he is played, but instead he has on attack, you get to you get a combo of one green card, 5,000 combo power from your drop, which kind of helps you get your Z energy where you want it, so that way you can play other cards from your Z deck, such as this Unison. Boujack, assisting the Brigade, which permanent if you have Boujack Brigade cards in play, your opponent can't attack the Unison, which is kind of nice because the Unison is only 9k, so it's very fragile. But activate main for +1. You may KO one of your mono green Boujack Brigade cards if you do draw a card. So it's just more of this cycling thing. And keep in mind, the Z extra card will allow you to put that card instead into your Z deck, which is kind of nice. It does have a -3 where if your leader is green, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards from bury and KO it. Don't get that one off as much, but like I said, this Unison is technically protected because your opponent cannot attack into it. And I did focus more on cleaning his board up instead of having to worry about anything else, only because I wasn't I didn't have anything in my hand to kind of fully go off on. I know Steve tends to play the Vegeta super combos, so he needs to be at a certain life, and I didn't want to get him down to that point when I wasn't comfortable to get for that pretty much. And he's kind of just returning the favor by attacking to my battle cards instead, which is fair. So getting Trunks, swinging 20k, comboing twice here, and playing Gotenks using the activate battle feature on it, where if you have 2 or more cards in your combo area, you get to play this card, which is kind of nice. But when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. If energy costs 6 or less, place at the bottom of the owner's deck. And then, yeah, the other ones doesn't really matter, but it does have double strike. Sorry, it does have a dual attack and deflect. So it's hitting the board, and when it hits the board, it's removing a card. The problem here is deciding if the combo will let it go. And it looks like I was about to let it go, but I think I'm debating on, yeah. So it doesn't benefit me in this particular matchup, or this particular moment. But I did use the Activate Battle on the Awakened side Boujack. Like I said earlier, if it's your opponent's turn, you KO one of your green Boujack Brigade cards. This card gains 10,000 power for the battle. But I didn't want that card to go away just to the drop. So instead I used the Leader's Effect to go ahead and just pop it right then and there to put it into my Z deck. And because he does have the 2 1-drops on the board on this attack, on this next attack, I did use Dormant just to kind of clean that board up, so that way he can't gain anything off of those cards. Kind of the trade-out. Like, he could freely pay 1 energy to play cards or use other features. Like, I mean, granted, he did play Gotenks off it, so he kind of maximized that already pretty much. But he could use other cards to bounce them to his hand to play other stuff. And I didn't want to worry about that or even have that as a focus. My Gotenks is 25, so I do need to come with 30 to not take that damage. I mean, like I said, it is dual attack. I just didn't really want to go down. I think I didn't want to go less than 4 during this turn. But he does have 1 more attack, and I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to take whatever attack it is. Do I believe he attacks into... Yeah, he attacks into my life there, which is kind of nice. Not sure what... Is that one of those moments where we forget we did Dormant? It could have been. Or I happened to look away and no, he swung twice with Gotenks and the leader. Yeah. It happens. It's unfortunate. You just gotta remember when you do that, even though other cards hit the drop, that's still in effect, even though you don't see the card anymore. But playing Gokua, I didn't have any more of the 1-drops that would draw me a card, which was kind of nice. So instead, I play Boujack just to get a card on the board that I could turn around later and just pop it for another effect. In this case, I use the Unison's ability to draw a card. And we have Tapion here kind of comboing up. Getting his 1-drops hitting the board, getting his cards added to his hand. And here we are using Bojack's ability 3 Sandal gives him plus 10k power as well. And I don't remember if I'm trying to go for Gotenks or if I'm going for his leader. Was going for the leader, yeah, just getting that damage out of the way. So what happened here actually is a secondary part of the Z extra card where you remove this card from the game, play with the 1 green Boujack Brigade card of energy cost of 1 from your drop area in rest mode. Really just getting that draw off, which is kind of nice. And here we are playing one of the 2 different 8-drops. There are 2 different 8-drops for this deck. There's Tournament Assault, but then we also have the one I'm playing currently, which is Boujack Unleash Space Pirate. So for 2 energy, you can play this card. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, you draw 1 card, which is kind of nice. And then permanent when this card would be removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill. Once per turn, you may place 1 face-up Boujack Brigade card from your Z deck into your drop instead. But if this card is in rest mode, when your opponent's cards other than their leader attacks, your opponent discards 1 card from hand. So kind of putting this here as a way of like protecting my board. That way, like, he has to deal with the 8-drop first before he can deal with anything else. Getting another Trunks hit the board, getting rid of 1 of the 1-drops. And it looks like that was a pass there. So going into Tapion's turn 4, like I said earlier, he can't attack to my Unison, and his battle cards cannot attack into my lead unless he wants to discard 1 card from hand. But both these decks are very drawly decks, so he doesn't really have a problem if he wanted to go that option as well. But he is paying 3 here, it looks like, for Hirudegarn, which is an act. Okay, we're catching it there. I was like, that's an activate battle. So he's getting an attack here. I know what's coming here. And it looks like he's going to pitch the card, because he does have to do that in order to attack into my lead. So yeah, he is pitching a card there, swinging 25 into my lead. Problem is that I know it's coming. I don't really have much options. I don't have a lot of attacks here, so I have to kind of like get this out of the way. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so Dormant Potential. It looked like the super coming up. I might need to go back after this recording just to double check a few things, because I swear he attacked the leader, but then it looked like he was attacking the battle card. He changed his mind, but he didn't take the card back. I'll double check on the audio and kind of lay it there. With the leader swing here, he is playing Activate Battle to play Tapion now. He did use Hirudegarn to ramp up an energy, which is always great. I think that energy should be in rest mode, though, but it looks like he put it in active mode. But that was the end of his turn due to Dormant being a thing. So we go into my turn. We have Goku, we have Boujack back on the board. And truth be told, in one of these moments, the first thing I need to do is attack with Boujack first, and then kind of go from there, just so I get that card where I need to be at for his turn. When we are paying 1 for the other Boujack, which limit 1 for 1 energy if your leader is green Boujack Brigade card and you have 4 more energy. Play this card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, KO. It looks like I think we get rid of the Hirudegarn. I just don't want to deal with him putting cards atop my deck or even potentially ramping more. But Auto place any number of face-up Boujack Brigade cards from your Z deck to your drop area. When this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's unisons. Remove a marker from it for each card placed in your drop. Additionally, if you place 2 or more cards from your Z deck to your drop, he gains 5k in double strike. Kind of similar to Jiren almost, which is kind of nice. So we are attacking here, double strike. Or at least it's an auto right now. I'm waiting for him to call in the gates, but then we will pitch 2 cards to give him 5k in double strike. Dimension Magic, sold that off, which means I don't use that attack then. And we are going to pay 1 to do Successor with the Gogeta, and I think we make him ultimately discard 2 cards from his hand, which then gives Gogeta a double strike as well. And here hits the hatch. Yeah, that was fun. Stopping the attack there. No more attacks, even though I could potentially get 1, 2, 3 more attacks and still had an open 2 energy technically for additional stuff. But we are playing Eric Gokua just to get a draw off here, getting more stuff on the board for whatever I need to. Unfortunately, the other Boujack is in active mode, which means he can freely attack with any card and not have to pay the cost of discarding a card. Charging the Xeno super combo, which, okay, he puts a 2-2 ratio when it comes to super combos then. So getting the first attack off of Hatchiak himself, which is just a 40k single strike. So he's comboing the 45. He's paying 3 for another Hirudegarn on top of that, which is just not nice. So taking the damage, I'm at 3 life. It's like he's paying 2 more energy on top of this. And I think he's playing, yeah, he's playing the Trunks and Tapion respectful team up. I said that backwards, but it doesn't matter. It's dual attack. But what makes this card so good, activate battle on turn, choose one of your blue hero cards with energy cost of 1, return to the owner's hand, and this card gains 10k in double strike for the battle, making that pretty much a 35 double strike. And he swings with that to lead. Oh, he does have a, when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards placed at the bottom of his deck, so he's just using it to clean up the board a little bit. Here I'm just double checking the wording. Super comboing up, making it 45, 55 double strike. And from here on, if I cannot get out of the attack, I have to pretty much defend every other attack. And he still has Gotenks, which is a dual attack 25. So we're using the leader's ability. We're super comboing here. We are getting up to that point, hopefully, to get out of that attack. Double super combo. Swinging Hirudegarn here. And I think best bet is to make me place a card from my hand to the top of my deck. It thins the hand down a little bit while he has multiple big cards just to swing with. We will be expanding the engine marker to negate with Piccolo, which negates the attack. Play this card. And when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Engine costs 5 or less and KO it, which he had 1 target, which is kind of nice. Yeah, he was going to go for the leader's effect, but then I had to remind him, I was like, you've already done the effect, so he took the combo back just to hang on to it, which is smart. Use it for other big attacks. Here I'm trying to do the math. He's at 25. I need to go up to 30 just to get attack. He still has technically 3 more attacks that come at me with 1 open energy. Swing of a Go Tinks. I do take that damage. Swings again. I think I only have like 3 or 4 cards in my hand. And I think at this point I'm thinking, just hang on to everything for the leader swing. Because he also at this point had, I think his hand was getting kind of small. But then he overwhelms. And I was not expecting that. And I'm like, yeah, that's game. You got it. Yeah, he had 3 cards in his hand. But that is what it is. I think I was kind of going over what my possible next turn was going to be. But it doesn't matter. I lost anyways. Thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind, there's buttons, links. Hey, that's it. Bye.